All right, so entrepreneurs and entrepreneurialism. Awesome. Okay, so if you're watching this, you're more than likely an entrepreneur or you want to know how entrepreneurs work. Um, I myself am an entrepreneur. I started off in hospitality. Now I own a couple of different businesses. So I actually own my own fitness business when I was a PT, and then I led it on to my apprentices, and now they successfully run it for me. So they're actually doing a really, really good job, and I believe I have meetings with them every week to make sure they're still on track. And if they have any questions for me, they can always ask me. I'm always available. I have an open door policy all the time. All right. Now I have my own consulting business. I've actually got a partnership in a consulting firm. So, and how did I get here? How do entrepreneurs achieve success? Entrepreneurs are a completely different breed of people. Entrepreneurs are go-getters. They're motivated. They can be both extroverts and introverts. Okay, so everyone thinks introverts and extroverts, it's all black and white. You need to stop thinking with the black and white mind because this will absolutely kill entrepreneurial. Okay, so the black and white mind is if I was to say introvert and extrovert, you're either one or the other. That is black and white thinking. You can't be a mold of both. Okay, and you can't be a little bit of one and a little bit of the other. You have to be either introvert or extrovert. There is no middle ground. There is no grey area. That is black and white thinking. It is the worst way to think. Okay. It's also called, as one of the people I've watched over the internet, Tai Lopez. He said he was talking about the 500-year-old archaic mind and the black and white system. That's a little bit of a snippet of what he talked about. You're either one or the other. He didn't use extrovert and introvert. He used a couple of other examples. Right now, I can't necessarily think of them. But if you want to think in black and white, that's fine. But it'll absolutely terminate your level of success. If you just think in black and white all the time, you're not ever going to make it. All right. So you need to be able to adapt to things. You need to be able to think how you can change that to that. You need to mold things together to make a perfect combination. All right. So entrepreneurs. My definition of an entrepreneur. So I'm an entrepreneur. I'm 22. Okay, an entrepreneur is an individual or a group of people that are passionate about cultivating an idea into any sort of gain. Any sort. It doesn't have to be materialistic, doesn't have to be numerical, so it doesn't have to be money, doesn't have to be economics. Okay, could be the pleasure that they've done something right for society. So things like that are St. Vinny's, donation places, things that look after the homeless, homeless shelters, things like that. That could be made from an entrepreneur, and they just donated a ton of money because they all wanted to cultivate an idea, or an individual wanted to cultivate an idea to help people. That's an entrepreneur. That is entrepreneur. There really isn't much more to say. That's my definition. It's an individual or a group of people that are passionate about cultivating an idea into any type of gain. Those are my 5 steps for entrepreneur. So if you're an individual or you want help and you want to have a mind group, then you can have that. And if they're all passionate to cultivate an idea, to bring you any sort of gain, whether it's emotional, physical, materialistic, numerical, whichever one it is, if it gives you any type of gain, you're an entrepreneur. Even if it doesn't work. So if you have a business or you have an idea for a business and you're passionate about it, you cultivate the idea and it doesn't bring you anything, guess what? You're still an entrepreneur. Purely because you had an idea that you're passionate about, you cultivated it, and it became a reality. That's an entrepreneur. That's essentially an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are special breeds though. Don't get me wrong. Anyone can try entrepreneurialism, but it takes a very narrow amount or type of person to become a successful entrepreneur. Because there are many things that entrepreneurs go through that we don't voice out. So when I was 18 and I first started entrepreneurialism, it was hard. I'm not going to lie, it was hard. One, I didn't have all the right information that I needed, and I had no idea how to get that information. So I started a business and it failed. Bang, straight off the bat. And then I tried my second business, had a little bit more passion about it, still lacked the knowledge. Failed again. I had an idea again, built the business, had some knowledge. Still did it, failed. So after the third try, I started thinking and I started going, there are things I'm doing wrong. There has to be things that are doing wrong. And I honestly thought that there was someone just going against me the whole way. And I was just like, is there any chance in the world that I'll be able to be successful at what I do? And I'm not gonna lie, there are sections in life where you start thinking and you go, is this really worth it? Is there an end to all this pain, to all this physical exertion? Because as an entrepreneur, there are days you work 24 hours. You're just so narrowly focused on one subject that you can be working for 24 to 30 hours straight and not even know about it. You've eaten twice in those amount of time and you're still thinking about the idea. It's not a 9 to 5 job. It really isn't. Entrepreneurialism, you can go to bed thinking about the subject, you can wake up, you can dream about the subject, and it feels like you've just never gone to bed. You wake up purely exhausted. So on thinking on what I was doing wrong, I had many ideas come to mind, but they didn't really lead anywhere. So I was always thinking, I need to talk to someone about this. I need to see someone who has gone into entrepreneurialism, made it successful, and then feed off of them, find their information, how they did it, find more knowledge about them. And then later on, I actually discovered this was a mentorship, and excuse me, which led to my first kind of breakthrough. People that you see as where you want to be in 10 years, or at that time I thought in 5 years, but now it's kind of occurred to me that they need to be 10 years ahead of you, 10 plus years ahead of you. So at the time I was like, wow, this person's where I want to be in 5 years. That's great. I'll see if I can talk to him, spend some time with him. Ended up exchanging work for knowledge. There was no money involved in this whatsoever. So I worked and worked and worked, and the amount of knowledge that he imparted onto me really helped with my business that I started after that. And the one thing he said to me that stuck in my mind throughout the whole period was, when things are going well, never take your foot off the gas. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, what could this possibly mean, right? You know, when everything's going well, don't take your foot off the gas. And I was thinking, okay, it sounds like good advice, I'll take it on board, but what does it actually mean? And then when my business was going really well, I was making a good amount per week. I was making about $8,000 a week. I was like, cool, this is awesome. You know, I can retire off this. This is wicked. I ended up taking holidays. I was never inside the business. I wasn't doing anything to grow the business. And then it crashed. I lost $5,500 a week in just one day. One day. I was like, wow, okay, I've gone from $8,000 to $2,500. How did this happen? So I spent the rest of the week analyzing it and going, right, what happened? And then his advice came shooting into my head like a lightning bolt. And I could hear his voice, and it said, you took the foot off the gas. What are you doing? You took the foot off the gas when I specifically told you not to. And then it just all kind of clicked to me, and I just realized in a snap flash, and I went, oh my God, I took my foot off the gas, and the penalty for that was I lost $5,500. So it was a very expensive mistake to make, but the knowledge that he gave me, I applied most of it and then forgot the most important part. Always keep your foot on the gas, and when you're being successful, drive it even faster, even further, and you'll be even more successful. So that would be the best advice I can pass on to an entrepreneur, is what my mentor said: never take your foot off the gas. Always keep going, always keep striving, always keep pushing forward. If you find yourself stagnant at any point, ask someone what have they witnessed about you in the last month. Even if you just have an inkling and you're not entirely sure, if they're an actual true friend, a true observer, they will kick you in the butt and they will say, hey mate, you've taken your foot off the gas, you've slowed down, you've gone on more holidays, you're not paying as deep attention as you were before. And you'll be like, hey, I took my foot off the gas. I've got to keep going. Always keep your foot on the gas, never take it off. So if you're in a group of entrepreneurs, and they say to you, I'm not entirely sure this is the right direction for us to go in. Okay, if they say, hey, you know what, I'm plummeting a lot of money into this idea, and we're not getting what we thought we would. All that means is there's a lack of planning on your behalf, and you need to stop, you need to replan, you need to make new targets, and you need to make a way to reach those targets. Targets is great, and where you are is great, but if you have no trip on how to get there, all you have is just an idea on where you want to be and an idea on where you are. It's not necessarily any connection whatsoever. It's like I can say without any plan that I'm going to make $200 million before I die. That's great. I would love $200 million. But if I don't have a plan to get there, what do I really have? I've got an idea. Ideas are great, but if you have no way of acting upon the idea, it's worthless. It's worth nothing. So if you have a group of entrepreneurs and they say, I'm plummeting all this money and I'm still not getting an income, or I'm not getting a return, I'm not getting any idea on where we are, stop, rethink, replan, react. That is the best advice I could give you guys. And make yourself accountable, not just to the people that are in your entrepreneurial group. So if there's 3 of you and you want to hold each other accountable, that's great. But make people outside make you accountable. So a mastermind group is really, really handy, and I would definitely say mandatory to have. As an entrepreneur, have a mastermind group. As a group of entrepreneurs, have a mastermind group, because they will hold you accountable. If you don't know what a mastermind group is, refer to some of my earlier videos. I believe I've talked about some. And I'll also make a video later on about mastermind groups. So what I want to do here is, I just want to reiterate that entrepreneurs are a very specific type of people. Entrepreneurs are go-getters, they're fighters, they know what they want, and they will stop at nothing to get there. They're a different breed of people, okay? If you can have entrepreneurs as friends, have them as friends, because they will drive you no matter what. They might drive you insane at some stages, but they will drive you, they'll motivate you. But don't take this as they're invested in your interests, because we have our own interests, we have our own ideas, and we won't stop at anything to reach our ideas. We won't. If we have an idea and we have a goal and we've set it and it's affirmed in our minds, there is nothing in the world that can stop us from reaching there. So for me, I wanted to build a fitness business. I knew this at the age of 19. I wanted to change people's mindsets, and I wanted to make it successful, and I wanted to have any person walk through my door at all, from any walk of life, no matter how rich or poor they were, and I wanted to treat them all equally, change their mindsets, and elevate them to a different high, and I absolutely wanted them to smash everything they wanted to do. Guess what? It took me 3 years, but I did it. It took 3 years of waking up at 1 a.m. in the morning, working all the way through to 11:30 at night, and repeating it. Repeating it. Just every day. Every day. 3 years. Didn't take one day off. But I made it. Now I'm working on my next process, and it's proving a task. I'm not going to lie. You know, I've had to refer people like Elon Musk. Elon Musk, man. He's the starter of Tesla. He also did the space program as well. Power of Personalities. Learn introverts and extroverts. It will just absolutely blow your mind. Think and Grow Rich. The first book I ever read when I was thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. Huge. This book helped me decide what I wanted to do. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Awesome book. If you want myths debunked, the E-Myth. Okay, there's several different versions of the E-Myth. Fully get the entrepreneurial version, just because it absolutely debunks things. It separates it between technicians, the technician mind, the manager's mind, and the owner's mind. 3 different mindsets that you need to get over. Investment strategies. If you have less than $10,000, what do you invest in? My advice would be your own mind. Read more books. Entrepreneurs, special breed of people. And I absolutely would put money into entrepreneurialism. If you have an idea and you don't know how to cultivate it, match yourself up with someone who knows how to cultivate the idea. Yes, you might have to give them a little bit of your business, or you might have to pay them, but guess what? If they help you cultivate your original idea and make it an actual thing you can hold on to, or you can visually see, then you've been successful. You know, you've made an idea, you've cultivated it, and now it's an actual entity. It's a living idea. Never think as an entrepreneur that you are the business. As an entrepreneur, you need to think outside of this. You're the person or the group of people that started the business, but you are not the business. You work for a living, growing entity. You nurture it, and it grows. Think of your business as a flower. Okay? Don't think of yourself as the flower. The business is the flower, and you are the soil underneath it. You're the water it gets every day, and all of a sudden, through all your tireless effort, all your curiosity, all of your knowledge, all of your nurturing of that flower, and it grows, opens up into a beautiful thing. That's how you see entrepreneurialism. See it as a growing organism, an entity, and you are there to nurture the idea and for it to slowly grow and grow and grow until it becomes what you want.